It's your own boy, Tino. Stanley, you know what? Cool, listen. Tiano. No secret is hidden under the sun. When the musician we go young and
Right. Hello, guys. Good evening. Good evening.
All secret with the opens.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Thank you all for joining us again. We appreciate your just finished live video, not quite long. Yeah, you are back here again with us. It shows that you love us so much. We love you too. Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much. We are here for the benefit of our those states. So we have our two wonderful Edo sons that's coming here to defend their principles. So we have Pamonde that is going to come here. I will have Eriamiantor, that's going to come and defend his own principle. So we have them in the backstage right now. We can actually see them from here. So I'm bringing them and let's do this together. Hello. Good evening. Can you hear me, Mr. Eriamiantor?
Yeah, good evening.
Okay, good. Good to have you on the show. Hello, good evening, sir. Can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear. I can hear you, moderator.
Wonderful, wonderful. Good evening to both of you. Because as you all know that we've got another major debate at 7 p.m. at Channels TV as Governor Gordon Obaseki and Pastor Sage Ezeyamu have a debate tonight at Channels TV at 7. So we must try our possible best to round up before then so that we can join them. Is that okay?
Yeah, we need to do that.
That's
wonderful.
Lovely.
Right. What I want us to do, I'm going to mute individuals when anyone is talking to reduce the noise in the background, okay? All right. So it's nice to have you here, Mr. Eriamiantor. I would like you to introduce yourself to our audience. They are right here. So they want to know who you are and why you are here, sir.
Yeah, I'm Eriamiantor Stephen. I am presently supporting Governor Naija Obaseki for a second term. Thank you, guys.
We would like to know where you're from, that's your country, please.
Yeah, I'm based in Sweden. I'm in Sweden right now.
Okay, good. Thank you very much, sir. Hello, Mr. Monday. Good evening, sir. Once again, would like to know who you are, what.
Good evening, Mr. Moderator. My name is Egotha Monde Ohuimumwen. I'm live and direct from United Kingdom just now.
Okay, so why are you here? Who are you here to support?
I'm here to support the fresh election of Pastor Osage Ezeyamu.
Okay, wonderful. Wonderful. We're just going to go straight to the point. I'm going to start with you, sir. I want you to tell us, like I've asked you before, because this is the second time we're having you on the show. So I'm going to ask you again, because we have September 19th around the corner. We want to know why you consistently stay adamant to support Pastor Sage Ezeyamu, why you believe that is the right kind.
That's a good question. I strongly believe in Osage Ezeyamu in the sense that giving him the mandate or the people vote for Pastor Osage Ezeyamu, it's an opportunity for us to have a fresh start, knowing that his simple agenda, that is the security, manpower, infrastructural development, will all come to play in Edo State, and the Edo people or the Edo Light will be enjoying some form of dividend of a democracy, especially at this time when the COVID-19 pandemic has eaten up a lot of the world economy. Nigeria, Edo State, is not an exception. You will be seeing from this time or for some time now that especially Nigeria is be crying of recession. So having a fresh governor, I think, would do us a lot of good for us to proceed at this stage. Governor Obaseki, he has had a short of 4 years. I think within that 4 years, there are some misplaced priority in his achievement. i.e., in the area of Ohuimumwen power plant and his Modular refinery and other services, rehabilitations of some government buildings. I think there are some misplaced priorities, especially that area of the sports stadium, Ogbe Stadium, which has no benefit to the people. Why we supporting Osage Ezeyamu is that I am one of those who believe that we should have a 4 years term. 8 years term for any governor will not do us all good. For example, I vote for re-election of Obaseki now. I mean, if he let's say for example, if he actually wins this September 19 election, I think it would take him 9 months for him to jubilate, celebrate, to come back to the reality. Then before you know it, we're in the second year, and that second year, like I said, the pandemic problem is there. He will not have much money. Then the third year, he will just tell you that I'm no more coming back again, and I'm not coming to meet the people, the electorate for any vote. And then he may even shoot off if he has the motive. Then shoot off with our money, and that's it. Then we are back to square one. But having a fresh mandate, person like Ezeyamu, he will try to work for the first 4 years. And if it's not good, he will not get second year. And this is my stand.
All right, thank you very much, sir. We agree with your last statement that, in your own opinion, which is also my opinion, for every governor in those in Nigeria should be ruling for just 4 years. I'll agree to only that. So we're going to have Mr. Eriamiantor. What do you have to say concerning what Mr. Mode just said now?
Yeah, let me start with the last statement that my elder brother just made now. He said that is an assumption. No, that is a personal opinion. The Constitution does not give room for that. Until the Constitution does that, therefore, every candidate has 8 years, 4 years in, and an additional 4 years if the people who he had governed over decided to re-elect them. So having said that yet and done, my brother also talk about misplaced priority, talk about the Ohuimumwen power plant, talk about the Modular refinery, talk about the Civil Service Commission, and talk about the Ogbe Stadium as a misplaced priority. Now, I'm going to say without any iota of doubt that I think that statement is completely incorrect. Now, in the place where we are today in Nigeria, the first thing that have made Nigeria not to have progress is the lack of power. And having Ohuimumwen as a private state-owned power plant, I think is a priority on the right side. Then the number two is the Modular refinery, which is nearly 90% completion right now. As of today, the entire 4 refineries in Nigeria have been closed down by the federal government of Nigeria. So the coming in of the Modular refinery in Edo State is timely and of great essence to the Edo people. You talk about the Civil Service Commission. I don't know, everywhere I've traveled to around the world, every center where people gathers, to do the day-to-day activities of a state has a first-class touch. Not like what we were before, where it look as if we were rats, we're actually dancing. So Obaseki putting so much money to bring the face of the Civil Service Commission and to revitalize the entire, judges' quarter. I think it is, a thing on the right direction. You talk about the Ogbe Stadium, which popularly known as Samuel Bemodia Stadium, that it was a misplaced priority also. I want to say, with all benefits, without out of doubt, that my elder brother maybe had also miscalculated on that also. In a state whereby we have 4.5 million to 5 million people, and the youth of that state is about 60% of the 4.5, the youth of the state. So having a stadium of that, a world-class stadium, I think is a thing that we needed in a time in order to sway away, the youth restiveness, you know, the crime the youth has gone into to not have a better and a more, you know, articulate life. Having known very well also that football and every other form of sport has increased, you know, the GDP of most Europe countries. Like example, the London, where my elder brother based in. There, the football has become the hallmark, you know, in which revenue is not being accrued into that the local government or wherever it is being called within that very particular country. So I'm going to say with all fact and figures that this project that my elder brother just quoted that was a misplaced priority was not actually one. They're talking about the side of the COVID-19, what we call the post-COVID-19. You know, now, if you were not in the seat of power when the pandemic came in, it becomes completely next to impossible for you to know what you should be able to do. I remember in the BBC Pidgin English debate where Pastor Sagi Zeyamo, Gordon Obaseki, and the guy from YPP had a debate, and Gordon Obaseki asked a question. He threw a question to my big brother, Pastor Sagi Zeyamo, and asked him, what are you going to do during the post-COVID-19 pandemic? And what my brother said was, you're going to do the diversity of the economy. Now, how can you diversify an economy when there is no money to even spend on the necessities, on the basic necessities of lives, like payments of teacher salary, healthcare, and other basic things? You know, that was a flop. That was economical flop. So the reason why that happened was it's not on ground to understand, you know, the peripheries of what just took place during the COVID-19 pandemic. So having a man who was there, who has been able to manage the COVID-19 to the point it is now, it will be of great essence if such a man will be given an opportunity to be able to pilot the affair of the state out of this period where we are today, particularly where the state, the nation Nigeria, is 9 years. So these are many reasons, and the reason why people like me are clamoring for the continuity of Governor Enowerase Obaseki. He knows what he's doing, and he had the belief based on his antecedents of what he had done, and he have what it takes to do a better one. Before I conclude, I will go to conclude with this quickly. Now, there's a difference between trying, like my brother said, we should try. Let me make it very clear. In governance, in business, we don't try. Business, you don't try. The best goes in because money is involved. You know, the stake is involved. You don't try people because one did 4 years and you felt there were some things he couldn't do well because they wanted someone else. No, in business, in economies, you don't try. You get the best hand into feed. And as of today, the best man for the job is Godwin Enowerase Obaseki. Until then, someone else comes before him. Then we can be able to put a judge on who was better and who was the best. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. I would like to bring Mr. Mode in now because you just used the word there. The best man for the job is Governor Godwin Obaseki. I'm not sure Mr. Mode will agree to that. Hello, sir. Can you hear me? I would like you to contribute to the last statement or the whole statement that Mr. Eriamiantor just made.
Thank you very much. You see, I've listened to my brother and a good friend for a long time. I wish I'll be given that kind of equal time to explain myself. Mr. Stephen Eriamiantor, without prejudice, I'll take about 1 or 2 minutes to explain why I said a fresh hand would be better at this point in time. I take you on your power project. I mean, on the power project of Governor Enowerase Obaseki. what you people do not understand, what maybe you particularly will not understand, a captain of industry by name Captain Osa Okumbo said Obaseki has lovely plans, but nothing on ground of fund. We do not have that money. The whole federal government of Nigerian budget is not up to a budget of one multinational company in the whole world. For example, the budget of Edo State is not up to the working capital monthly bill salary of Heathrow Airport, to be precise. Godwin Obaseki, since he came to power, he is so good relations. He will pay a lot of PR company to spin for him. A lot of projects he would discuss in the Nigerian Vanguard. I just wish you go back to 2016, read a lot of publication and publicity stint. You see a lot of projects which is expected of World Bank project cannot even do for the third world countries. These are all the things he was saying. Probably he has an idea of development theory or development studies. Then I'll take you first of all on the power plant you've just said, Osiomo plant. Osiomo plant, that is why I like Obaseki. That is one thing I like about him. Sometimes he's very truthful. He said that electricity is meant for government offices. And these government offices, they are unproductive. A situation where each ministry do not get a budget for them to do their working, to perform their daily task, let alone carry out developmental project. It's a bit dodgy. You get to the ministry there, but 12 cluster of ministries are all in a farmhouse. Then they painted the farmhouse. These people do not get state. At the end of the year, you get budget on paper, but the budget do not actually translate into their account in practice. Go to that ministry today, no vehicles. Like the Ministry of Education, the one they call Edo Best, that the education is so super. There are the inspectorate department. They do not have vehicles, let alone fuel to go around and supervise to see that teachers, principals are in school, or the school feed are well maintained, or do they have a sport festival? That is one. I don't want to waste time. I'm just going to summarize this. On the Osiomo power plant, he told you that it will only, a power government office is not for us, for me and you who vote for him, the taxpayer. It will not be meant for us. We will not get that light. That aside. And again, the power to produce electricity rests with the federal government. The federal government, for years, since 1960, since the British left, they've been trying to grapple with the power production, power services to the people. It has been very poor. At the moment, we got a bit of it in production, but we have problem with distribution. Most of our infrastructure, the line in the distribution systems, they are not okay. We produce up to about 10 megawatt. We can only distribute about 40% of the 10 megawatt. So the other one, then the people were just coming up with, when we had this problem, a lot of state, a lot of consultant companies were just suggesting that we should have embedded power production. They tried it. You can see the Azurak power plant. The federal government has investment in it. And with Obaseki cronies in it when he was the chairman of economic team of Adam Oshomole's regime. So that was another scam. And every month, the federal government has to contribute 40 million into that Azura power plant. I'll just go straight, because summary, I'll go straight to the Modular refinery. Only recently we had that only 700 million Nigerian naira was contributed by the state government and the land given to them. Then that, what you call it, modular plant, at the moment as we speak, for some years now, Dangote has been trying to produce, to set up a refinery that will produce about 650 liters per day. And our own gas modular plant will only produce, to take in about 6,000 barrels of oil and produce, refine them to liquefied fuel or diesel. And one barrel is about 159 liters. So if tomorrow Dangote, because he's producing a lot, tend to play with the price as a matter of competition and sell 90 naira or 80 naira per liter of fuel, where will our modular plant stay? And that modular plant, Edo modular plant, is on MOU. Edo State contribution is owned by private company. We do not have it. Here's a situation: we have a state corporation that have been abandoned. Then the government is investing on another corporation, which in a way we don't know the future.
Thank you very much, sir. I'm going to have Mr. to react to that. And before I throw a question at you, because I don't want to disrupt him right now, so I want him to react, to respond to what you just said. Then I'm coming back to you to throw a question at you. So I'm unmuting you right now. I want you to respond to what Mr. Modeju said.
You see, you just see me smiling. I'm smiling at what my big brother is saying. I think every statement of my big brother here is political. Okay, but here I'm here to make facts. I don't want to make political correctness. Now let me start with the Ohuimumwen power plant that he said can only power the government parastatals. Yes, that is the 55 kilowatts that is already being produced now. But that Ohuimumwen power plant will end at 550 based on what is on ground. So the first phase of the Ohuimumwen power plant, we actually, powered the parastatals in the day, and in the night it will power the entire street within the supply road axis. That is what the governor said. So which is very clear. So, and do you also know, by that singular act, there is a reduction. Because for anybody to go through a process of development, you need to start from somewhere. That is the first phase of we getting to the level of getting what? A constant light. Number two, he said the federal government have been trying hard for many years to make electricity workable in Nigeria, and they have failed. If they have failed, and a man just came in, a single man came in with an idea that is workable now, I think, in a sane society, such a man will be applauded for that ingenious idea to be able to have created single-handedly with other private sector to create such what's it called, to create such a project that even the federal government could not do. For me, I think it's supposed to be a thing of wonderful wow. Number three, he talked about the Azoro power plant. I want to say the Azoro power plant was actually started from the time of Ohuimumwen, which the federal government took over from Edo State government. It's on paper, that's clear. The federal government took over Azoro power plant from Edo State government. So that is why it's now become a federal government project. The reason why the Ohuimumwen power plant came into being was as a result of the federal government taking over Azoro power plant and now put it on the federal grid. And when that was not done, this BDC woman, Funka, whatever, still did not give the Edo people the light that they needed. That gave birth to this private power plant called the Ohuimumwen power plant. Now, talk about the refinery of Dangote and the Modular refinery in Edo State. Let me say this without not missing words. In the developed world where we live, little businesses actually survive the economy, not the big ones. The small-scale industries keep the economy going, not the large ones. Edo State has a lot of vehicles. So therefore, when the refinery start operation, the crude oil is at Ologbo, not in River State. So there will be no cost of transportation between where the Modular refinery is being built and where the oil is being drilled. So it's going to be a one-stop thing, which will reduce the cost of transportation, transporting the crude oil and also transporting the petrol back into the state. So that alone can also make the price of the fuel to come to the same level as that of Dangote, if Dangote finally starts. And let me also say something here. The Dangote refinery cannot be able to feed the entire federation. So therefore, the coming of the Edo Modular refinery is welcome in a time like this, whereby they will not have to complement whatsoever the Dangote will be doing at the time the Dangote refinery is complete. Okay, so if you get the own analysis, you will understand. Like I just said, these are just political statements that are being used in discrediting a laudable, a well appreciable, initiative of the governor Enola Obaseki administration. That is just my point.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Eriamiantor. I think we were having Mr. Mode trying to say something. Sir, were you saying something?
Yes, sir. What I was trying to say.
Hello,
it's trying to turn my argument as political. Not really. It's more of economic than political. How can Dangote be producing 650 liters per day, and you are now saying that it's not enough? I have done my research. What Nigerian consumption is at the moment is about 400,000 liters per day. The whole of Nigeria. That's excess to budget it to the highest. And again, my gentleman said that Ogbe Stadium is meant for the benefit of sport. For the past 4 or 5 years, there has never been any meaningful sport festival. Like he did mention about UK, whereby sport football team are not. Do you know how much income football generates in the United Kingdom? Our own football, we've never even had any sport festival that would generate income into Edo State. We did have this cultural festival the other day. I can assure you, no hotels, even the people who live in Edo didn't even go to the Ogbe Stadium or Cultural Center to watch the festival. A lot of people do not have that access to it. And there is no money coming in. And also, the Oshomo power plant is purely met, according to the government statement, it's meant for government offices. And as I explained to you, the federal government at the moment is producing, is rationing light to the people. By the time they finish with the distribution system, there will be a light for everybody. So, BOA, a company in Nigeria, is working on a project to produce 250,000 liters a day. So in all this, Governor Obaseki's gas modular plant do not stand any way. One would have expected him to wake up or revamp our dilapidated company so that we can earn money and create more employment. By so doing, there will be peace. Like I said to you, Captain Osa said there is not, he got a lovely plan, but there is nothing to show up for it. But Obaseki is so good at PRO, at public relations. He spent a lot of money on it. And that is what it has done to you people in diaspora. By spending money on PRO, then the social media keeps saying, or keep shouting his name. But come September 19, the outgoing governor we suffered, I think we suffered a massive defeat, and you will see it by yourself. It's just 6 days away.
Okay.
So I will leave the moderator to continue to progress this argument.
Okay, now we are going to come back to this argument, but I'm going to ask you, Mr. Monday, to in depth analyze the simple agenda. Before that, I'm going to play a video for you. Just 1 minute. Stay with us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Agenda is a smart document. It is specific. It is measurable. It is accurate or achievable. It is realistic. The document is time-bound. I want to assure you people, I am not a liar. I am not insincere. So I cannot afford to disappoint you. By the grace of God, I will not disappoint you about Okbe.
Okay. Mr. Monday, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Okay, sir. Did you watch
the simple agenda?
Okay. You watched
I
the video,
watched it,
right?
and I've read about it.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. Can you tell us more about the simple agenda?
The simple agenda is generally a socialist enclave plan, a socialist enclave development. That is, the simple is generally about the people. That is, bake the cake first, then we share. Number one, the S stands for simple, to secure lives, give security. And in doing that, he will be employing the neighborhood watch approach, whereby all locality are well secured. Then two, the one we know is that every state governor is entitled to what they call security vote. That is, every month, a governor is entitled to some money. During Oshomole's time, Oshomole was collecting 400 million. I learned that since Obaseki came, he has increased it to about 700 or 650 million, and that he only gives 5 million to the police commissioner. And the police, they are supposed to get out of that security vote to be able to buy fuel, buy cars, so that they can carry out a lot of patrol around the state to get rid of criminals and secure the state. But with what we heard from information reaching us that only 5 million is being given to Commissioner of Police. When Oshomole was there, he used this money to empower them. You can see during the first term of Oshomole was characterized with kidnapping. Oshomole came out, if I find anybody, any kidnapper living in your house, and if he's caught, that house will be destroyed, and the people who are about them will face penalty. You can see a lot of policies coming out. You can see a lot. We all saw what happened. You see the soldiers are in the street patrolling. It's because of that security vote. Then infrastructures. Maybe from Oshomole's time or to Obaseki, if there is any infrastructural development. I once said that what I term as development is trying to build on the old ways of doing things. Then the main aim is to have a new product. I now saying defining that the development, I said a road, an overhead bridge from Zabayo Junction to Ogbilaka Junction, that is development. A regeneration of a city, for example, everybody around Ring Road area must plant trees. That is development. You back it.
Okay. All right, sir. Mr. Mode, we are going to stop you there.
Up with money and encouragement.
You are breaking up. You are breaking up, sir. We can't hear you no more. Okay, can you hear me? Mode, can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear. I can hear you loud and clear.
All right, we'll get back to you again. I'm going to have Mr. Eriamiantor. Mr. Eriamiantor, I'm unmuting you right now. I want you, do you have anything to say about the simple agenda? What you think about their own simple agenda, or you want me to throw you my own question?
Let me give a little talk on the simple agenda, then you can ask your question.
Okay, good.
Just 1 minute. Yeah, my elder brother said two things. I'm going to talk about. The first is that Captain Osa was the one that said there was nothing on ground. I want to make it very clear. Captain Osa is not the right person to measure or define government performance because he's partisan in his assumption. Simple appeal. So when Captain Osa talks, then that is not be taken because it is partisan in his approach. That's number one. Number two, you call Captain Osa the captain of industries. The thing about that is, I don't want to go there. Let me not go there to talk about that because that is not what we are here for. Then the number thing my brother said, he said, I heard. Now, I heard is an assumption. This is what I'm talking about. You must get the fact put before you before you make a claim. If you say I heard, it means it's an assumption that you cannot be able to back up. So if you say the man gets 650 million and give 5 million to the police, it was what you heard. It is an assumption. That is not a fact. That is friction. So that's why I say it is political. So if you are giving fact, you give fact based on what you know, not what some group of guys threw before us, put on the social media. We grab it, we swallow it, then we vomit it back. It becomes garbage in, garbage out. That is where we have a lot of problems. So when we deal on assumption, we will not be able to get to the fact. Your question, sir?
We are going to talk to them, Mr. Eriamiantor. More about the video concerning Governor Godwin Obaseki, please. Watch this.
Primary responsibility of any government is to protect the lives and properties of its citizens. Any government that is not able to do so is not worth calling itself a government. And so we cannot, as a government, say we are governing Edo State without able to guarantee the safety and security of our people, because that is what I'm sworn to do.
Vote Governor Naija Obaseki and Felix Waibu. Vote PDP. PDP. Power to the people.
Okay, right. On that video, the governor talked about security and all that. Do you think, because Mr. Modular is going on, do you think that Edo State has security at the moment for the past 4 years that Governor Godwin Obaseki has been in office? What can you say about that?
Now, let me talk about that. Now, security revolves every time. Okay? The more new techniques are coming out, the more even those who commit crime, they get new techniques. In London, where you stayed there, I know there have been 1 or 2 times there have been bomb explosion by this terrorist group in London. That is their part. In Sweden, where I live here, there's also been 1 or 2 terrorist attacks on major buildings here in Sweden. So that means security evolves as time goes on. Having said that, I will say, without any fear, any iota of that there have been an improvement in security in Edo State. Like you just saw there now, those are men that have been trained by the Obaseki administration. So I'm not very sure if that training is for 5 million. I'm not too sure of that. I think that training will worth more than 5 million. Now, these guys have been trained to be able to tackle the security situation in Edo State. And knowing fully well, because of the porousness of our borders in Edo and other states surrounding us, and because of the security situation in Nigeria today, Nigeria being the 3rd most terrorist country in the world today, after Afghanistan and one other country, we are the 3rd as of today. Now, in Nigeria, we have the 1st deadliest and the 3rd deadliest terrorist group in Nigeria, the Boko Haram and the Fulani militia in Nigeria. So when you're talking about security, security has to evolve outside the geographical zone of a state to not encompass the entire nation. There is no way a state can be able to put security in and lock it up when the entire nation is open for inflow and outflow. Okay? Most of the kidnapping, like for example, when Osarabore Joseph was kidnapped in Benin City, he was taken to Bayelsa. And he said the guys who actually kidnapped him were not, they speak Ijaw language. When the man who is the Minister of Health today, Dr. What's his name? Anyway, was kidnapped at Oba area. We also found that these guys were not also from Edo State. They were from Sapele. So you understand, because of the porousness of our borders, it because it do not look as if the security of lives within the geographical location corridor it's not working, but actually it has improved. There's a reduction in armed robbery, which is an internal security issues. There's a reduction in armed robbery. I went home, I came back 2nd of March. I just said it many times on my video. I drove 10 o'clock, which I couldn't do before the coming in of the Obaseki administration. So that has proven there is a little level of
okay. We're going to stop you there, Mr. Eriamiantor. We are sorry we have to stop you there because we have a few minutes just to go. Mr. Mode, I wanted to say something about the video and what Mr. Eriamiantor have said. You only have 1 minute or max 2 to analyze this, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. You see, like I said before, that Obaseki is very good at publicity stunt, PRO. Those groups may be what they call Wabiziga. This Wabiziga, ask anybody in diaspora if they have ever had any encounter with Wabiziga. This Wabiziga, if you go to Benin, some of them, majority of them, there are not many, a lot of billions, billions were spent on that aspect, some money. They don't have vehicles. They only have 3 cars, Toyota Corolla, and what do you call it? This South Korean cars, Hyundai, stationed at in front of Shuaibu's house. You don't see them patrolling and getting rid of, serving as deterrent to criminals in the street. And during the time of Godwin Obaseki, we got a lot of incidents of our women being raped in the farms, herdsmen, a lot of problem with courtism, people being stabbed, tear into pieces. Then they brought militias from this Bayelsa outfit to come and serve as deterrent. I even understand that it's the Oba of Benin project that brought these people to detect them. We didn't have security. If there is security at this point in time, there are a lot of us, a lot of people, aged people like me, my age, we want to go to Nigeria, live in Edo State, and live in Benin City. But all what they complain is security, security, security. Let us not deceive ourselves. Stanley Eriamiantor, in his debate today, and it has always been to be a lawyer. He's always acting as a lawyer. He's always debating as a lawyer. You're always trying to defend. Tell us figures. Tell us what is on ground. You drive in the night. You just lucky that you've never been. You've never been attacked. Like me, if I go, I socialize in the GRO area, especially the Benin Club. I go home 2 o'clock, 2 a.m. Sometimes I'm scared to go around that area. Then I'll lodge in a very close hotel there because I'm scared to move about. Once it's done to you, the police will then have a field day on your family. And these are the problems we have. There is security problem in Edo State, in Benin.
Hello, sir. Mr. Monde, I'm going to ask you a question. There's a statement that Governor Godwin Obaseki wrote on social media a few days ago, which he said, I want you to counter this. He said, all the investments that came into Edo when my opponent, Eriamiantor, was in government, went bankrupt. I challenge him to show us one that is up to date. We find no files to show that the proper thing was done with the private actors. We will never go back to that. So what do you have to say about that? What he's trying to say here is that all the investments. Okay, you understand. Go ahead, sir.
I understand you.
Yeah.
Which investment? All the investment. Is Presco gone? Is Presco not there? He, investment banker, stockbroker. How many investment did he bring to Edo State since his inception? None. All we get is Chinese coming to sign MOU. All we get is that industrial park. That industrial park, I'm one of those pro who asked for it. Then Gelegele Port, nothing is happening there. I swear to God, send someone to Gelegele to go and see if there's anything there. During that lucky time, we have a lot of companies. Excuse me, let me finish. During that time, that was the bet of people living in overseas, trying to invest, building houses. Are those not investment, bringing goods to Edo State to sell, to keep their brothers and sisters, a job, a micro job? Is that not an investment? A lot that I cannot mention now at the moment. The cement factory, who sold it? What happened to Bendelai? What happened to a lot of other companies in during Ohuimumwen time? They brought a Thai company.
Hello, sir. Do we still have Bendelai? Do we still have it?
Bendelai, during before Baseki, it was still only ricketing a bit down, but now we don't have Bendelai. But when Ohuimumwen was on board, we had the Thai company, the Chinese company, the Thai company in Sapele Road. We had a lot of Asians coming in to produce bottle for water. I mean, what else?
For you, this is also from Godwin Obaseki. He said, the opposition has said that the Obaseki style is strange and must be contained. This is why they are fighting us, but we must resist them with our vote. Edo people are ready to do this. So, do you think he's right when he said that the opposition is fighting, trying to contain his style?
No, it's not right. One thing you have to know about Godwin Obaseki will praise shit. That shit will become moi. So you see him, he is the one. He will just go there and be speaking like a World Bank director. That's what he's always doing. He does not have plan in process. Who will envy? Who will jealous him with what he's doing? If Obaseki is doing well today, people like me, I'm a development expert. I study and I have my second degree from University of Wales. I will be happier. I will be happy with him. Don't forget, I'm one of those who said he would deliver. Only to come and be seen is rehabilitating. Those are Johnny Rose people are praising him for. I swear to God, they don't stand the test of time. 3 months. Where he starts, before he gets to the end, where he starts will start pulling up and down. I was in Nigeria last year. I saw the road. He came, he did my road. For 3 months, I was waiting. I said, the man I was, I said, no, they are coming. Before I left Nigeria, those roads, big hole, big puddle of water all over. They don't stand the best of time. They are not strong roads. They are not strong. It's just election is coming. Quickly go and do a journey road. And that is what is happening. Obaseki is a good public relation officer, not a good governor.
Okay, sir. Now I want Mr. Eriamiantor to react to that, but just in 1 minute so that we can round up. Mr. Eriamiantor, please react to the video that I played, and I also want you to react to what Mr. Mode have just said.
Okay, you know, like I said, my big brother here, he said I speak like a lawyer. He speaks like a politician. You know, that's the issue now. But a lawyer, we are always very realistic. Politicians always play around, you know, with words just to be able to cajole us into believing what they are saying. Okay, so the first is this: there's not the PRO about Obaseki. You know, as a banker, that's who they are. Their style will be completely different from what others will understand. Is the main fact. Just like you going to become a governor who has spent 20, 30 years in Europe to become a governor in Nigeria, your style is going to be different. It's going to be strange to what they are used to. That's when a technocrat comes into the office of a politician. So they're going to have a clash of understanding and a clash of interest. Okay? That's the fact there. That's number one. Number two, he said the roads that Obaseki are doing today, they will not stand the test of time. That is also a political statement. He did my road. He did the road of my mom. It's over 2 years now. The road is still motorable, still strong. And the difference is this: there is the C4 and the C4 plus. One thing we don't understand in Nigeria setting is this. Now, the C4 carriers were made purposely for vehicles, small vehicles, and a little bit dynamic system. That's the C4, the World Bank road. Now, the C4 plus was not made for small vehicles, the dynamic and the 911. Go check. We must check, you know, what is the standard of these roads? What are they made for? Now, when you now drive a ton like that of the Dangote vehicle through a road that was probably made, an internal road being created with these trees, that was made purposely for very small, you know, vehicles to pass through. You now take the type of Dangote vehicle to pass through the road in and out. What do you expect to happen? Even in Europe where we are now, we know there are roads that are made for cars, there are roads that are made for trailers. Thank you. So let me know what's your time.
Thank you, Mr. Yeah, thank you, Mr. Eriamiantor. We all are very concerned about the security during this time of election. Many people are saying that no, election is not a war and nobody should endanger themselves or their life just because you want your candidate to emerge as a governor. So let me play this video before we round up. Just 1 minute, please.
Primary responsibility of any government is to protect the lives.
1 minute, sorry.
My name is Pastor Sunday APC gubernatorial candidate from the Ondo State Governorship election. I wish to appeal to all our people, especially the youths, to ensure that there is no violence during our campaigns. We are doing the election on September 19th, 2020. I wish to appeal to them to allow themselves to be used. I wish to appeal to them to ensure that the campaigns are peaceful, issue-based, devoid of insults and blackmail. I also wish to appeal that on election day, right in that same culture. This is our state, and election is not about killing anybody, and we will not allow that to happen by the grace of God. So I thank God for you, and God bless you.
Okay, I'm going to say something about this. Mr. Eriamiantor, can you hear me? And Mr. Monday, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, good. Right, Mr. Monday, are you there? Can you hear me?
Very well, loud and clear.
All right. Some people seem
I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, sir. Some people seem to be accusing this man of, when it comes to security. If you watch that video that he did, you can see that he's very concerned about the security during this time of the election. You understand? So what do you have to say about this, Mr. Eriamiantor? Because I believe this is we tried to do our research, but we only find the video from Pastor Sageze Yamu. We could not find any video like this from Governor Godwin Obaseki. So what can you say about that?
I think I just saw the video for the first time now. I think for me, that was nice, was fantastic. Because election not be war. Like I said, it's a game. Politics is a game, and in every game, one must win. Like I always say, in most of my videos, if you hear most of my videos, even when I am on live, I always make people to understand. Yamu is my elder brother. Obaseki is my elder brother. So no one, as Bini will say. So at the end of the day, we will still come back to the round table. Whosoever that wins this election is for the betterment and for the interest of the adults. Okay, what we are fighting, what I am fighting for is, we do not want any man to decide who governs us again. That is my problem. Nothing more, nothing less. Yamu has done well with that video, and I must give him the accolade that he deserves for coming up to say, please, no war, vote, and let your vote count. And I believe, and I hope, what he said actually came from the bottom of his heart. Thank you, guys.
Okay. All right. My last video, despite that we don't have a video directly from Governor Godwin Obaseki, but we've got a video we need to play for you right now. Just the last video, then we call it a day.
No, don't let me talk.
You will say something, sir. Don't worry.
Happy Sunday, everyone. My name is Dele Obaitan. I am the U.S. Head of the Obaseki Mandate Forum. I am working with my big brother, Chief and Prince Nathaniel Momo of the Ososo Kingdom. Our goal is to make sure that the Obaseki Shaibu administration gets reelected for a well-deserved second term. And really my message is to all Edolites, for all Edolites on ground, let's have a peaceful election. Do not allow any politician to use you to put your life at risk, to be fighting in the streets or shoot at one another. Now, I was made aware that in my hometown of Osasa, there was some violence. I am asking all youth to not allow themselves to be used for violent purposes. Obviously, I support Governor Obaseki and his deputy, Philip Shaibu, but I also respect everyone's choice to support whoever they want to support. We all want Edo to progress. I have seen the good works of Obaseki's administration, and that's why I'm supporting the governor. You are free to support whoever you want to support. But the bottom line is we cannot allow ourselves to be divided. We are all Edolites. We are all one people. And so we should be able to be civil enough to respect one another's opinions without getting hateful, without being nasty, and definitely without inflicting bodily injury on one another. So I appeal to all my people of Edo State. Let's have a peaceful election and let the best man win. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Monde, I want you to say something about the two videos which I played. The one for Pastor Sage Zeyamu, preaching peace, while the one for the supporter of Governor Godwin Obaseki preaching peace as well. What do you have to say about this, sir? 1 minute.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I have no doubt that this election will be very peaceful. I shot the most peaceful election ever held in Ento. The problem of insecurity or violence has been on the other side. That is Governor Godwin Obaseki camp. The Oba of Benin identified this and rebuked the person who they found that he's in charge, who is in charge of this violence. Right from last year, when bombs were being thrown about in Oka's house, Dahagbon's office, and to the coming of Oshomole to Benin, days running to Oshomole being kicked up from the office in Abuja, there were a lot of violence, incident of violence, and nobody's taking that very, very seriously. The Oba of Benin, in his peace meeting, called them. He said, "My son, Philippi, I used to call you my son, but I don't know now if I can still keep calling you your son." The governor, you made governor, deputy governor, knelt down and apologized, started begging the Oba of Benin. With that being in place, I do know that this election will be the most peaceful election. Election is a game, like my brother said just now from Sweden. He said a draft, I tie for them. Then we shake hands. I guye campaign where I told we may talk woman. Azera for them is Serik Bossy.
Thank you, sir.
Hello?
And Mr. Eriamiantor, are you done, sir? Mr. Modi, are you done? Okay. All right. Mr. Eriamiantor, I want you to respond to the videos and what Mr. Modi just said for only 1 minute so that we can close up.
Like I said, where I was going to was the part of the Oba Benin is trying to apportion blame. That area we need to try to end it, because if we go there, we are trying to. You see, I didn't go to anywhere where Yamu was calling this lion and tigers. I didn't want to go there because the man who did that video came out as of today to say, "Let peace reign." And that is where I stood for. That's why when the video came, I applauded him for a wonderful, initiative for him to have done that. But if you have to look at the previous videos or previous incidents that have happened before now, then we'll be checking ourselves back again to where we don't want to be. So that's where I was trying to say, no, we shouldn't go there. The Oba Benin never. There is a publication that just came now. He never accused him. He was just being a father who preaches peace. And as the governor and the deputy governor of the state, then the peace and the security of the state lies in the hands of both Shaibu and
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Eriamiantor. And you have another 1 minute to address those both home and away. As you know, next week is September 19. So I just wanted to talk to them for just 1 minute before we end the show, which we are giving the same 1 minute to Mr. Mode as well.
My people, I beg, those of you that are supporting Obaseki, you know you can't go home because of the COVID-19 pandemic situation.
Please, use Pidgin on this one, please. Pidgin.
Say?
Pidgin language.
Okay, my people, say, if you have to lose some more, my people, say, election don't reach Ghana next week Saturday. Any of them will support Obaseki. I beg, because none of you go hard because of this COVID-19 wahala, make una call una people for home. We need 4 votes from each of us minimum for Obaseki to come back to do to continue with the good work we don't do before. So do one, so that by next week Sunday, all of us will gather together to jolly, to thank God for what God don't do for us. Thank you guys. May God go bless you now.
Thank you, Mr. Eriamiantor. We appreciate your time today. We are going to give 1 minute to Mr. Mode before we end the show. Hello, sir, Mr. Mode. Can you hear me?
Very well, loud and clear.
Okay, sir, you have
my viewers.
You have 1 minute to talk to everyone. Any advice for those in diaspora and home as well?
My people, those in diaspora and those at home who will be opportune to watch this video, make I talk am for pidgin. I beg una dey down here. Make una follow no road o. Una not let anybody take mouth buy fish for una soup o. Make una vote Eriamiantor. Now the governor way fresh, he go get energy to work for una because he know say if he not do well, second term go hard am as he had the outgoing governor. So my people, I know so una not fit go. I know so many of una not get voters card. Make una begin the phone home. Tell them say, is Eriamiantor? He just newly come, fresh hand, new woman, new yawo. He go work where go sweet pass the old one way day house. The old one way day house. We don't see how power reach. You not feel run reach the other side. Make una vote for Eriamiantor. Make una not let anybody follow no route. Una not let anybody take money to buy fish for na soup. Make una follow Eriamiantor. The only one way go feed all of us from cradle, we go look after all of us, go give us that policy for cradle to grave. That is from children go reach with papa. Now those ones, now that kind of government we go come make solid. Get experience where pass any other person we did there. He help he carry Osomole come. He help he carry a lot of people come. Now is Eriamiantor good no vote for? Mona not let people where they spend money for publicity. They go everywhere. Can't deceive that I get this time. I do people not the carry last. Now thank you very much.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Modi. We appreciate your time. We are going to definitely do this again. Thank you, Mr. Eriamiantor. We are doing this again after the election. So if your candidate, your principal wins, we'll bring you back here. If you lose, we are bringing you back here. Any of the above. So we are doing this again. Thank you very much. And both of you have a good evening.
Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. God bless you.
Thank you, sir. Right, my dope people, thank you very much for your time. We are done for today. We've done our best. We have September 19 just around the corner. So whoever that's going to emerge as the next governor of Edo State, we will know in the next few days. No need to fight each other. No need to hate each other. Just remember that the name I've been chosen. If it's Pastor Sage Eriamiantor, you cannot change it. If it's Governor Godwin Obaseki, you cannot change it. No need to fight. September 19, we have a new governor of Edo State. Thank you, everybody. We appreciate you. Without you, we cannot do this. Without you, there will not be Naija Watch. Please subscribe, share our videos, subscribe with us, click the notification button. Whenever we're on live like this, you know that we're on live. We are trying to do our best. We're not perfect. We appreciate you so much. Have a good evening, you all. God bless.